Warning, this episode of TsM Talk contains some explicit language, opinions, and Duncan. Though we love him, he can get carried away. Enjoy the show, guys. Hey guys, it's Hicks here from TGN and TsM, and we are on episode 7 of TsM Talk finally, man. You know, before we get the show started, I want to do a little shout out to Tom Tyndall from TGN for doing a nice little way of the day, I should say, day 2 that he did for us on his blog site. I'll put a link down below. Basically, this blog site is just for him to recognize channels that he believes that should be getting more attention on the YouTube communities, and he featured us on his second post, so that's really cool. Again, I'll put the link down in the description. And today we've got a nice little lineup today for you guys. We're going to be first talking about Rage, which is a new game released by ID Software and Bethesda. Then we're going to move on to Red Orchestra 2. And then finally a brand new MMO I just learned about last week called TERA. So yeah, Duncan, I am glad you're here finally after your nice little mishap after episode 5 with your computer dying.
Yay. Yeah, I'm back.
How you enjoying that new computer I built you?
It's really red right now.
Really red?
But thing's very powerful, plays all the games I want it to play, and I'm enjoying Crysis now for the first time since it came out. So
yeah,
yes.
Now you don't have to use a laptop anymore. You can actually use a man's machine.
Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a couple pretty little unicorns you painted on the side here of your man's machine.
I did, just for you. So yeah, we can move on to Rage if we want to start. Now, personally, this game just came out, October 4th, I believe it was, like only 2 weeks ago. And it was IDTech Software's newest game using the IDTech 5 engine. And it was published by Bethesda, but it was developed by ID Soft. And if you guys don't know who
brought you Doom and Quake.
Yeah, basically the pinnacle and basically the milestone for FPS shooters back in the day was Quake and Doom for sure. And you know, I just want to hear your thoughts first before I go into my little talk, because I've got some kind of upsetting experience with it so far.
Josh here is a real negative guy, but from what I've seen from the reviews and everything, it's from what I hear, it's a console port to PC, but the world is really engaging, and people say that there's a lot to offer from this world. It's not really much of a free roam game. The free roaming consists of driving around and causing massive amounts of mayhem, which is also included in the multiplayer. But what I take away from this game is it's set in that same setting that Bethesda is well known for, with the post-apocalyptic after civilization has collapsed. And what's going on here is you're basically the last surviving member of a crash of a spaceship on the planet, and you are the last means of civilization. And the world is controlled by this force called simply the Authority. I know, real inventive, right? But the Authority is basically it serves as the main antagonist in this game, and you end up helping the citizens of the shattered world reclaim, you know, I don't know really how to describe it. Basically, fight the power. You know, Black Panthers. Black Panthers post-apocalyptic style.
Well, see, that's like the main point is like, and that's one of the things I'll be talking about is like the story. You really didn't know what the hell was going on, other than you were basically one of the last survivors of this crash that you held basically the civilization of humans in your hands, and you had to fight this power called the Authority, and you literally fought the Authority for like an hour in the game, and it was, I don't know. When I got done, I was like, okay. I didn't.
Hey, man, fight the power, all right?
Is that all you got on Rage right now? That's it?
Well, there's a boomerang with blades on it, and basically it just brings a whole new dimension to don't let your kids play with sharp things, because from what I've seen, this thing decapitates people. From what I've seen, some of the enemies just do not give a hoot, and they will freaking charge you like nobody's belief. Pluses for me for this game are character design, world design. You know, it's kind of like in Fallout. It's like, oh, you have a backstory, but you start out basically as a clean slate and you do whatever you want. And, you know, that's The story is great and everything. Like in Fallout 3, I don't really give a crap about the story. It's like, oh, your dad's trying to purify all the water. It's like, whoop-de-doo. But I can blow this mutant's head off at like over 300 yards away with a sniper rifle. I'm down. I think I'll stay around for a while in this universe. That's how
Yeah,
I view it.
well, like, so I'll just go into what I like about it first. So, what I really enjoy about this game is one, it's a brand new engine by IDTech. Now, I love games like Doom and Quake. So, knowing that they made a new engine and they're developing the newest Doom, Doom 4, I believe, on the new IDTech 5 engine, it'll be something that I really look forward to from IDTech or ID Software because, I can't wait for another Doom. Doom was like one of the scariest FPS games I've ever played when I was a kid, and so I'm really excited. Now, this game's got a lot of actually gameplay hours. I personally finished the campaign in 6 hours, but I hear you can have up to a max of 20 hours on like side missions and stuff. I personally got the game completed 100% in 14 hours, so I guess if you took your time and did everything slowly and didn't try to run through the game like I usually do on my first playthrough, you could probably do easily a 20 hours. So that's really good. They've got a nice 20 hours. Facial animations, though, man, I have never seen such amazing facial animations in this game. Like it literally looked like they were moving their lips exactly to what they were saying, and it was awesome for sure.
You checking them out?
Well, though that was like the first thing I noticed, like right away, the first character that I was talking to. I really can't even remember his name right now. I should, but
The guy who saves you?
yeah, the guy who saves us, he's actually from like the show Roseanne, the husband. I don't even remember his name. Oh man, that's pretty bad. But like his facial animations were amazing, and so was everyone else's. All the NPCs were like that. So it was really cool to see that this new engine really can concentrate on the facial animations. Graphics were great after I put the patch on because before the patch, man, the graphics and the
Wow, popping.
optimization was so bad. Like my graphics were popping in and out. There was no there was no way I could play the game how I was able to play it when the patch was put in because wow, that's all I gotta say is they
A
shouldn't have.
note, excuse me for a second. A note for 360 users. I would recommend the PS3. You can't play the game unless you do this, but install it to your hard drive, so that way you don't have to wait so much. There's not as many loading screens and everything, and you don't have that texture pop problem that
Well,
Hicks here was describing.
I think really I didn't look too much on the console side, but I know that I think the main reason it was the textures were popping like crazy is because it's a console port to the PC. I mean, even ID Tech said or ID Software said that the game was developed around the console, so when you always do ports, they're always going to have their little issues like that. I really enjoyed the story actually, even though it was really simplistic. I always felt like I was in control. Like if it was up to me, without me, then this place would not be here. Like I felt like I was literally the last person on Earth or on this planet being able to save our civilization. So that was really nice to have that feeling as a
Like a
player.
powerful person.
I also I enjoyed the weapons and the atmosphere that they did. Now, even though it's not all explorable, I mean, it is with vehicles only, but like the actual how you beat each level or each mission is pretty linear. But when you're like driving around and stuff, I mean, you can just look up and see all the detailed work and stuff, and it's really, really nice. The weapons are very unique. I know they're like your pistol, your shotgun, and stuff, but like how they designed them were pretty cool. How you could have like different ammo sets for each one. And yes, my favorite thing was those boomerangs, especially when you get the advanced boomerangs. They like lock onto people, and they can be like running away, and it just follows them and like will bounce over things to get them and cuts their
God,
heads
it's
off.
recess from hell.
Like I really enjoyed how they did that. And their, like weapon animations, of course, were really nice. So, that's what I really enjoyed about the game is, they, it's basically what they did is they made Borderlands and Fallout have sex and have a baby, and this is what came out graphically. I don't think the story was in depth enough, but just like the graphical style was pretty similar to Borderlands, but not quite Borderlands. So yeah,
So
definitely.
basically, like the popping out came from Fallout 3 and their dated engine.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm
It's like
guessing.
that's what happens when you get a 40-year-old, 45-year-old, and some like sweet 18-year-old. you know, robbing the cradle, they might say, but more, more on. I don't know where I was going with that.
Sorry.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm not editing that out either.
Right.
So what I didn't like about the game though, oh man, when I first got that game, man, screen tearing was so bad. Like it was almost unplayable with all the screen tearing, the textures popping in 24/7. Before the patch, there was no ability to basically save the textures on your graphics card's memory. And so every time I would like test it out, I would do a 360, and the only thing that would stay was the thing I was looking at in the beginning. Everything else would be white behind me, and then slowly things would start popping in. So those issues with the engine, I hope are optimized in a newer game, because they didn't even like include half the graphical options in a normal graphics option menu. Like there was literally just your resolution, and if you want anti-aliasing on, and that's it. That was it. There was nothing else, and so you couldn't really make your game. And I mean, I had your obvious. Do you want things on ultra or high and stuff? But there's people who like to do more to their
Micromanage.
micromanaging. When this patch that they put on allowed you to pick, do you want to save a low amount of textures on your graphics card memory? Do you want to put a high set? And of course, I did high. And the texture popping literally went away after I did that. After all the textures were saved on the memory, it was clean as day. And once I had anti-aliasing on by 16, there was the graphics looked way better than what they did beforehand. And that was like the biggest thing is this game isn't going to be your Battlefield 3 or Modern Warfare 3 or Call of Duty style graphics. They're not going to be super detailed, just kind of like Fallout wasn't really detailed. It looks like they take either high res textures and they stretch them out over everything, or they just take really low textures and multi-texture things. Because like if you look, there was a part in the game where I believe the subway, and I'm looking up at like a light fixture, and it just looks like a black dome with a white dot in it. Like it doesn't really bring out the detail of what a lot of other games bring in when it comes to textures. And that
Meanwhile, while our hero tries to save the world, he's got OCD about that freaking light bulb.
well, I don't know, it just like little things like that really kind of de-immersed myself from the game. Like I just kind of was like, this is a pretty typical FPS game, like
Well, here's the question: could you shoot out that light?
no,
No. So you
no.
tried shooting out. You seriously had a vendetta against said light, sitting
No,
there
it's just
trying
like
to shoot it.
everything. I couldn't shoot out lights. I couldn't shoot like anything that was lit up. You couldn't shoot out. I don't know. It's just, and the textures didn't have any depth. Like it looked like it had depth. When you went to the side, it was just a flat. So they like basically gimmicked the depth part of it. So it was just, I don't know. I think on their next game, if they use this engine, especially on Doom 4, that they should really optimize the texture quality, or the texture side of the engine, because really putting in high res textures can make a big difference on if someone really likes a game or not. Because it really did. After you play it for so long, far away things look badass for sure. Far away, but up close, man, it literally just looks like a piece of shit. I'm not trying to be mean to the game, but up close the textures are terrible. Far
It's
away
like
they're
this looks
awesome.
like a pile of doo doo.
Well, like the rocks and stuff would look like rocks far away, but as soon as you come up, it just looks like blurry grayish stuff like everywhere, and you can't read labels on cans or anything. It just looks like a piece of construction paper.
He's getting real picky right here. He's like, I can't tell if this is beans. I can't tell if these beans are refried or fried. That's really important because I'm not going to be out there in the wasteland farting my ass off if I'm trying to sneak up on somebody.
But I mean, like overall, the game was really fun. I mean, I had Nikki play it, and she was laughing her ass off, having a real good time with the game, and that's how I was. I was having a really good time with the game. They didn't have a lot of enemies, but it really didn't matter because you were just having fun blowing the shit out of these guys, and
You should
and
you should have your head examined by a shrink, maniacally laughing while cutting people's head off with a bladed boomerang.
uh, the one thing though with that bladed boomerang, you can only take off people who don't have helmets. I didn't try it on the advanced guys, but
Just
uh,
bounces off.
yeah, it
Ding.
usually just bounces off, or it slowly takes away their helmet. It'll slowly get their neck and take it off. But yeah, I mean, the thing that really stood out though for me was definitely that the cool ammo style. I've never seen, or at least it's been a while since I've seen a game where you have different ammos for each gun. And I will say my favorite one was the double barrel shotgun, and it was pop rocks, I think it was, and you shoot out 2 grenades out of it. It was pretty cool, or grenade like shotgun shells.
Not to be mixed with Pepsi.
So yeah. Also, little thing, I know this is really way off topic and not even part of our game thing, but how you like this mic? Isn't it badass?
Mm. Oh, look at you and your internet ego. It's like, I've got this new mic. No, I don't even remember what it's called.
The Blue Yeti.
The Blue Yeti. Who the hell names these mics? It's like I'm gonna do like 4 lines of cocaine and then hit my head against a wall, and then the first name that pops into my head is going to be the name of this. Like at least with Razor, excuse me, something like that. They named my keyboard and my mouse after mystical creatures, and it's like, this headset's called the Blue Yeti. It's nothing to do with headsets at all.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I was just getting things in the forum saying that like my audio was good, but it just needed to be more cleared. So I was like, I'll just pick up a Blue Yeti because I know those are really good condenser mics. And I'll tell you one thing, man. I was doing some testing when I first got it. It is like a world better, like
You love hearing the sound of
tenfold.
your own voice.
I don't think I like hearing the sound of a voice, but I like to hear pretty clear. I like the things to be pretty clear when I listen to stuff. So, hopefully this will definitely improve how everything sounds. But
All right,
anyway, enough of
let's
my
get to Red Orchestra already.
I was
Jeez.
to say enough of my EP. Let's just go to Red Orchestra 2. So Red Orchestra 2 is a really, really skill-based shooter, a really underdog PC game for sure. I was really hoping this game would have a lot larger following. I think this community is like less than 5,000, maybe even less than 3,000 players. I mean, this game is very small, but yet it is such a badass game, and I was really hoping to see a bigger turnout for this game. Yeah, again, whatever, Duncan, just go ahead and start talking about it because I know you love it.
I've been playing Red Orchestra ever since the Red Orchestra Ostfront 41 to 45 came out, using the engine popularized by Tripwire Interactive, using the Unreal Engine, and basically what it became was it was the since I'm a history major, I'll go a little bit into the background. The game covers the bloodiest conflict in World War II, which wasn't the Philippines, it wasn't the European campaign, it was the Russian campaign. The Russians and the Germans absolutely despised each other, and they were pretty much the most merciless to both. Prisoners were executed, mass executing, people be burned alive. But basically, this game goes into the conflicts that took place. And Red Orchestra 2 builds on that and focuses mainly on the battle around Stalingrad, which was one of the bloodiest battles of World War II. And you can choose to either play as a German or a Russian soldier. The game is class-based. You can choose a class that has certain weapons and attributes. There's no, like, oh, you play this class, you run fast or anything. The only thing that is determined by your class is what roles that you can do. Like the game has a commander system, such as Battlefield 2 did. And squad leaders can designate targets for artillery, and there's a map layout which will tell you grid by grid each area of the map. So you can say, I need fire coordinates and you can have the direct line to the commanders. Like, I need fire coordinates for artillery here at G5 through G7. The commander also has abilities such as calling in recon planes to spot targets for you. And the game has 2 primary modes. There's the normal mode, which is more geared toward people who are just starting out on the game and everything, and it'll show a ticker actively of who kills who. And then there's the hardcore mode, which is more for people like me who've been playing Ostfront, played the shit out of that game when it first came out, and are used to that kind of brutal, unrelenting, you stick your head up and you die. This game, it's not empty half your clip into someone to kill them. It's one rifle bullet to the upper chest and you're dead. And a lot of people find that as a turnoff. I enjoy the challenge of a game where I have to keep my head in the mud basically the whole time, because if I stick it up, some German sniper is going to basically blow my head off. Tanks do make a comeback in this game, but the tank combat is a lot more streamlined, and you can actually have AI companions, or you can forego that and go old school and have an entire tank crew of people. And basically, the game has been more streamlined towards kind of like Mass Effect to Mass Effect 2. There's a lot more action, and they've worked out a lot of the issues that people were talking about in the other game, such as the fact that I absolutely hated someone shooting my gun out of my hand. They took that away. So if you're into a skill-based shooter and you can slug it out, because this game does have a learning curve, as Josh can probably tell you from his many rage quits. But this is a game that I enjoy immensely, and I'm waiting for the mods and the optimization patches and everything to come out, and the community to start really expanding.
I definitely
And
have to
that's
say this game is mad hard. So anyone who wants to put their time and invest into a really good skill-based shooter, like many people had to do, was Counter-Strike and Counter-Strike Source, this is definitely a game for you. Like seriously, I don't know how many times I've rage quit playing because I started on hardcore because I didn't know there was a normal mode. I was just like I just hopped in servers with Duncan and Ted, and I was just getting my ass
grizzled
killed.
veterans, by the way.
Like seriously, like there's so much to understand about how to shoot your weapon. It's not like a Battlefield and Call of Duty where you literally just put your iron sights down and you fire and you're going to usually get someone. You have to know like distances, you have to or guess distances, then you have to adjust your sights accordingly, and then you have to aim on the people and then fire at them. And there are so many people that I've been playing with that are so much better than me that literally I pop my head up and I'm dead like instantly. And they're just like 200 meters away from me, and I'm just like, holy shit. So if you want to have a game where you rage like mad hard, but you keep wanting to keep playing it because you want to get better, this is definitely one of those games, and I'd recommend it. And it's only like $30 or $40, so it's not a $60 game, because this game does have a single player, but I haven't even played the single player because this game is all about the multiplayer, all
Single
about it.
player is more of an in-depth tutorial that basically showcases all of the different things. So if you play through the campaign first, that's what I would recommend for a noob like you, Josh. Is play through the campaign first. It gives you a lot of controls, and it basically gets you comfortable with shooting targets. And it pits you against AI, of course, and it showcases the maps as well. So you actually fight through the maps where you have to take certain things. So it gets you familiar with the maps, it gets you familiar with the weaponry and what you can expect for getting shot and stuff like that, as well as tactics. Another thing that I want to point out is Josh here has actually been learning. He's learned quite a bit, so I've seen him get a few kills, so he's not that much of a noob anymore, but he's still got a long way to go.
I'm saying I'm
And
still new. What are you talking about? The gameplay that I'm showing everyone is showing me getting like 1 or 2 kills before I get shot in the face by some
give
random
me give me
machine
your copy
gunner.
of Fraps, where I'm chilling with a sniper rifle in a burned out building, getting, let's see, I'm still trying to get that marksman gold, which is get a headshot or get a kill at 275 meters. I got 2 headshots at 185 and 200 meters respectively yesterday, one after the other. I gotta change it though, so I don't cycle my bolt every single time I fire the damn rifle, so I can see where the bullet goes.
This
Yes, the
game,
game is that in depth.
yeah, it's really that in depth. Like you literally, if you hold a machine gun too much, the barrel gets hot and you have to change out the barrel and stuff. So I mean, it's so realistic that some people might feel that it's too realistic. So I mean, it'll be one of those type of games where you're gonna have to spend out hundreds of hours to be really good at. What I do like about this game is it's different from your typical World War II games. It's not always, United States versus whoever. It's Russians versus Germans, and so it's a completely different style of a World War II game, and which is why it really appealed to me because I'm so tired of playing, United States versus Germany or vice versa. So it was definitely a refresh in that aspect. I also really like their leveling up system is pretty unique and it's different from any shooter I've played, and that is you level up you get honor points, I believe it's what it is, or honor
Yeah,
leveling up.
your main rank is your honor system, and then you rank up your levels for your weapons as you use them respectively. And there's like little different perks and stuff. So say I'm a level 5 with my Mosin Nagant 1930. The main bolt action rifle of the Russians in the game. I believe that's what it's called. Not sure. Don't get on me. It's been a while since I've read up on my Russian weapons. But the Sway, the actual sway while you're moving, while aiming it, the amount of time between breaths. Someone who's used it more will be more steady with it. So you actually gain experience with a weapon the more you use it, as you would in real life. It's like I figured out this rifle kicks a little to the left and everything, and I need to adjust for that. So once again, bringing on the fact of realism, as the creators of Red Orchestra are really well known from doing. Also, you get weapon attachments as well. The PPSH H, which is the main submachine gun of the Russian forces. Normally, you see it in games. It has a drum mag. In this one, it has the clip-fed mag with 30 rounds. And as you level it up, once you get to a certain level, then you get the drum mag. And then really, it's just a bullet hose.
Few people with the actual drum, but like you said, like it's each weapon you have to use to get the unlocks for. So it's not like if you get, let's say, better sway in one weapon, it goes to all of them. No, it's just that weapon. Because like when I went over to I play on Access with you most of the time, and when we went over the Ally side, I was like, oh Jesus, this rifle is way different. I have to now relearn how to use this gun. So I'm kind of glad we stick on Axis though, because I like their weapons way better.
Yeah, the Germans do have better weapons, but I love the Russians more because there's nothing. Of course, then, there's the million players named Vasily Zaitsev that I shoot in the head on a regular basis. I'm like, oh, I guess not. But, the the teamwork is key in this game. It always pisses me off in Battlefield. I'm playing with idiots who don't know how to properly defend an objective, or they don't understand the facts of like the marking system and spotting and teamwork communication. But in this game, there is team chat. Your entire team can hear what you have to say. Communication is very frequent. This game is not played by hapless idiots half the time. If you go on a server that has a dedicated clan on it, these people usually know what they're talking about, and you can coordinate with them, and you actually enjoy yourself. You're like, say, like yesterday, I had a tank move up because his main gun had been knocked out by a random tank shell that had come through. And so basically what we did is we used him as a mobile machine gun platform to cover a flank that he could get to from the building he was overwatching, and basically covered us as we moved up completely all the way up to almost the German spawn. Spawn killing is not possible in this game as well. There is a spawn protection system that blows your body up into a gory mess if you go into it for more than 10 seconds. So there is no spawn killing. They try really hard to make this game, as hardcore as it is, they try to make it as fun as possible. And anyone who's into a team-based shooter that requires skill, I would definitely recommend hitting this game up because it's definitely worth it.
Anything you don't like about this game?
I don't like the fact that there are idiots that still play this game. That's really all I have to. There's one level though. In terms of like spawn killing and stuff, I think, Commissar's house. It's a map that, as the Russians, you have to start out in this building and run across this open field to get to. And if you're not one of those teams that's really good with building up your momentum and keeping it going, you will get effed in the A for this map. But other than that, of course, the single player could be better instead of a long tutorial, basically. But this game, I'm probably going to play it after the end of the show and drag Josh along with me. But I really can't find many faults with the game other than the fact that the technical issues that first came out when the game came out, and the Tripwire's already addressed that and apologized for that and outlined what they're planning on doing for it. The fact that it hasn't been optimized yet for PCs, there's some people that they can run other games on like really high, in this game, which isn't as graphically demanding, even though they have done a complete graphic overhaul from the first Red Orchestra, are having trouble with this game.
So, I mean, like, the only things that I would really have to bicker about would have to be, just because I'm a noob at this game right now, that would have to be the machine gun right now being either too accurate or too overpowered. I haven't decided which one it is I want to complain about more, because there's times where I be running into a building to help my team out, and I hear one or two shots go off by the machine gun, and of course they always hit me, and I always look at the distance. It's always like 155 to 200 meters out. And I don't know what the range is for a real machine gun. I've never used one, but I think that's a little ridiculous for a machine gun, I think a machine gun shouldn't. I mean, it should be able to take out a whole platoon or a whole squad if they're running across a wide open space. But I think for this game itself, there are people who are just so good with the machine gun that they can literally snipe people from so far distances. And the biggest con that I've had that's really kind of making me figure out if it's just me or is it my field of view that's messed up is being able to see someone at a distance. Now, I think right now, I think it's needing a patch. I think a lot of people know it is someone could be in a window and leaning outside the window and get you, but you don't see them on the other side and they're like maybe like 100 meters away or so. Because I've ran into that a couple times where I see the guy, I saw him run into that corner, and so I'm aiming my sights down, and I'm leaned, or I'm not leaned, I'm just standing out in the open like a retard because I haven't really learned how to use cover properly yet. And I just see, all of a sudden, I
Mr.
just hear,
Friend.
I see the flash from like the side of the window, and then I'm down, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, how did he see me? I couldn't see him, type of thing. So, it might be a patch I might have to implement to be able to see people who are leaning because I think you really can't see people leaning because when I get kills, I'm usually leaning because people usually can't see me. But to be honest, I think those are really the only two gripes I have. I just like it because it's so hard, to be honest. So, this game has only been out for like less than a month maybe, and they're really working on a patch to make things a little bit more balanced for everyone, fixing the optimizations, things like that. So I'm glad that they are still in touch with the community and really still trying to improve the game. That's always a plus. What's your overall of this game? Your overall
Well,
summary?
it's one of my favorite shooters right now out in the market, and it's definitely holding me over until Battlefield 3, which will be more of the, I'm awesome at both games, but Red Orchestra always has a special place in my heart. That it's that one girl that will throw a drink in your face. She'll treat you wrong. If you mess up, she'll treat you horribly. And if you do the right things, then you're in love. I don't know. Fuck that.
Do you
I
ever?
don't, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Basically, this game is awesome, and if you think you're awesome at first person shooters, you should play this game. If not, then you should go away.
Yeah, like this game, I love it. I absolutely love it because of how skill based it really is. Like it brings me back to when I first started playing Counter-Strike, where I used to get owned like this all the time, and now I'm the one being that player that does it to all these new kids. So, I think I'm gonna put the time into this game. I haven't played Counter-Strike in a while because I've been wanting for another skill base to come out, and I think I found my skill based shooter for a couple of years, and that's definitely gonna be this game. It's only like $30 or $40 on Steam, so it's not even $60, which means it's gonna be well worth the money at that if it's gonna be better than any mainstream FPS game. And it's implemented all these realistic features like sight tuning, your cover systems now. You can hide behind walls and you can lean outside walls. And so I would recommend this to anyone. The only thing I'm really sad about is how underrated and how untalked about this game really is for what potential it has as a
This is a
community.
hipster game.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those hipster games. It's something that once you find out about it, you'll love it, and you'll say all these other games are terrible compared to a game like Red Orchestra 2.
I know, and you'll put on your hipster glasses and you'll ride a bike everywhere, and you wear those skinny tight jeans, and
We're talking about
you
Ted.
know. He plays this game too. Yeah.
uh,
So definitely check it out, and I'll probably see you out in the battlefield. I'll probably snipe you a couple times if you do come out.
we'll probably play after this though, for sure,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I'm
I'm gonna
getting
I'm gonna get
I've got the
marksman again.
I've got the itch. I've already got the itch for the game. So, well, I guess we'll just wrap up Red Orchestra 2, and we're gonna move on to this brand new MMO called TERA, TERA. Now, I got a message from a buddy of ours inside TSM. He told me to check it out, and I'm not a huge MMO guy at all. I rarely play any MMO games,
Nope.
especially games like WoW and League of Legends, which are so popular right now, and World of Warcraft has been the best MMO for years and years now. I played Diablo 2, which by definition is considered an MMO. It's just on such a small scale that a lot of people don't really recognize it as an MMO. And I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I was one of those kids. I only played
World of Warcraft.
I only played Burning Crusade. Like that's the farthest expansion I played was Burning Crusade, and after that, I stopped playing altogether. And from what I hear, it's not that great of a game. It's not the time investment as
Careful
much as
what you
it used to
say.
be.
You might get
I know.
quite a
I'm
bit of
trying to be
hate mail.
like, I just know like it's very easy to level up now. It's very easy to do certain things that it wasn't, that used to take days and stuff on old WoW or on vanilla WoW.
Vanilla WoW.
So I just haven't, there's nothing that's really spiked my interest for an MMO. And when I heard about TERA, I was like, it's just gonna be another MMO. It's gonna be just as boring as all, because I can't play MMOs by myself. I know people, like everyone that plays WoW usually plays by themselves or with huge
They
groups of
have no
people.
friends.
But oh no, they all have friends, trust me. They all play together. But like no one here in TSM plays an MMO besides me and Nikki, and we play Guild Wars every now and then, and so we're really looking forward
Ooh.
to Guild Wars 2. But it's like I can't play an MMO unless I know people and a lot of people that are playing it, because the reason I really stopped playing WoW was because all my friends that played it stopped playing it, or they got in such a higher level than me that they didn't want to do quests with me anymore because I was so far behind. And so I was just like, you know what, forget this. I'm gonna go play Counter Strike or Diablo 2, where I know I reign
I'm
everything.
supreme.
So no, I started checking out Terra, and to be honest, it to me looks like another MMO, but I think it could replace World of Warcraft in the sense of how big the world is and all the things you're going to be able to do. I mean, just looking at their website, because it's not even out yet. It's still like in beta phases. And it's a fast-paced MMO, so it's not like a turn-based like World of Warcraft is, where you do one skill and then you have to wait till it gets done and you do another one. This one is kind of like the new Final Fantasy, where it's free roam and free action, where you can literally like run around characters and be doing stuff. And I don't know how to explain it. In the videos in our talk, we'll show you exactly how they do their gameplay. But it's really fast, really, really fast paced, and it depends everything on your team. Like your team has to be perfect when you go into like raids and stuff, or you will get smashed. And each character is very specialized, and they only help your team. There's nothing that can really hurt your team, especially, well, I mean, if you have like two healers or like five healers and like one warrior, of course it'll hurt your team. But I mean, right now they've got what, two, four, six, eight races, or seven races, sorry, and then they've got two, four, six, eight, nine classes, and these classes are all pretty different. You got a berserker, you got a slayer, a warrior, a lancer. Then you got your magic guys, your sorcerers, your priests, and your mystics. So I mean, you've got a pretty good balance of between guys that use weapons and guys that use magic, which is really one of the, I don't know what you call it, one of the negatives a lot of MMOs don't have a good balance of. So yeah, there's nothing, I really don't know much about this game. It just looks very interesting. It looks like a huge graphical, holy shit, a huge graphical overhaul
Upgrade.
from WoW. I'm a person who really concentrates on graphics. I know games aren't built around graphics. I know a good game doesn't mean it has good graphics or has bad graphics, but when I play an MMO, I want to at least I want it to look good if I'm going to be,
I mean, you got to remember, there's all those people drawing that like not safe for work fan art of their favorite characters in World of Warcraft, and I'm guessing Terra will be able to up the ante on that in terms of artistic expression. That's said with quotation marks.
well, yeah, I mean, if I'm just looking at these
I was
things.
talking about them drawing nudie pictures.
I know. I get that. Thank you. And it just, this game looks pretty decent. It's a pay to play, so it's subscription based, which I'm very happy. I hate free to play games now. That's the new marketing way of things now. A lot of good games have gone free to play, like TF2, where you get your basics and you can unlock things if you play for like 1,000 hours. But hey, here's a shortcut, buy it for $5. Shit like that. Just, I don't know. I can't stand free to plays where you have to buy stuff to be good. I like subscription
It's
based
like
where,
I'm the 99% right now.
yeah. Well, like I hated.
Occupy World of Warcraft.
Like, I really like subscription based, and if Diablo 3 was to go subscription based, I would definitely do that, because at least in a subscription based game, you have the ability to get the highest equipment, the highest things, and all you have to do is invest your hours into it. You don't have to buy extra things on the side to make you that much better. There's all the items that all the items are available to you. You just have to work towards them. And free to plays, you can either take
How
a short.
everyone wants the American economic system to be.
Oh
Is
boy,
this
man.
turning into a
I
global
think
economics discussion right now?
I hope we don't get killed on this. Oh man. So I mean, so far the game looks pretty cool. I mean, it'd be something I would either beta test or demo for sure. I might even do a trial for it to see how it is. But the thing that really caught my eye was just the facelift that it has over WoW, and that it's a free roam slash free action type game, which is really neat. You got anything to say, Duncan?
I don't know crap about MMOs. I've never played an MMO in my life. I'm the RPG shooter, story-based guy. Playing with other people normally involves me either, in a simplistic setting, such as Red Orchestra or Counter-Strike or Battlefield or anything like that, where all I need to do is really communicate with someone or throw down an occasional health pack and stuff. I'm not one of those guys who will go and invest, like, because I play a lot of games and stuff like that, but I don't really have the time to play an MMO or anything like that. From what I saw, though, it looked pretty good. There was a dragon in there. That was cool. But other than that, I don't really have much to add for this game. Though, if I say something negative, I'll probably get hate mail from every single World of Warcraft person out there. Awkward moment right here. Don't really know much. I watched a couple videos and stuff like that, but other than that, what kind of gameplay elements is it really advertising? Talk about that.
I think the main thing they're trying to advertise is it's gonna be open world just like World of Warcraft, and there's gonna be islands that you can travel to just like World of Warcraft. Like, to me, it looks like there's been a lot of MMOs that try out doing the World of Warcraft thing and always fail miserably. You've got Guild Wars that was like the competitor with World of Warcraft, but they did a lot of things that really hurt them in the first one, and I think this TERA game is kind of like Guild Wars, but they've not screwed themselves over on this one. Like, I think they're really trying to compete with World of Warcraft, and they're trying to put World of Warcraft in the past, because World of Warcraft. Geez, I cannot try saying that 100 times.
Whoa.
But like,
Just say wow.
okay, yeah, WoW would probably be
Jeez.
easier. This game, they're trying to push WoW out of the scene, because WoW's been in the scene for, I want to say, at least 6 years. I know I played it when I was a sophomore in high school, and that's when Burning Crusade came out. So, it's been at least 6 years this game's been on the table, and nothing's been able to beat it, or at least have close to the amount of numbers. I know League of Legends is pretty popular among a lot of TGN people, because last night I was just in a chat room. They're all wanting to know if we all wanted to play LOL, is what they call it, and I've never played it either. But
It's hard for me to, know when people want to play League of Legends because I always think they're just laughing at my jokes.
Jesus, Duncan. Uh,
Wait for a second for it to sink in there.
yeah, I had to.
But yeah,
I just like you, I don't have the time for an MMO. I don't have like 40 hours a week to invest into a game, just like a lot of people do in WoW. A lot of people in League of Legends, and I think there's another City of Heroes or whatever. People would literally spend 20 to 40 hours a week investing in this game. I just don't have that time. If I had that time, I might, but that's why I just don't get into huge MMOs, and which is why I really like Diablo, because I was able to play a game for a half hour, 45 minutes, and I'd be fine with that. And, I feel like if I play WoW, I get stuck doing like 20 missions with friends, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I want to go do something else. And I don't know. I'm just not a huge MMO guy, but I will definitely check this TERA game out. It looks pretty cool, pretty neat, and it's subscription based, so they'll probably have like a 3-day trial or a 5-day trial, which I'll do that, because I just want to see something else than WoW, or I'm just tired of WoW. I don't know what it is. It's been around for so long, and I want something new to take it over. Maybe not in numbers, but in popularity would be nice, because it doesn't seem like Blizzard's trying to keep that game going for another 5 to 10 years. I personally, I've heard from people who've been playing WoW since the very first game, vanilla, it has just gotten a little worse over time, and so
So
you know
basically, you're coming back to your rage roots of row row fight the power,
exactly.
fight the power by TERA, overthrow the evil Black Blizzard Activision Corp.
No, I mean I like Blizzard. I enjoy their games. To be honest, I'm glad they've taken what I think over 10 years to develop Diablo 3 because I can guarantee that game is going to be freaking badass.
Well,
So
look at what happened with Duke Nukem.
dude, we're not even going into that discussion. That was developed in three
the
years. That
I
wasn't
remember you
developed in.
saying Duke Nukem, awesome, can't wait, and then you got Duke Nukem, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Well, I mean, I knew exactly
I
what was going
had
to happen.
inklings.
Like the game only took 3 years to make. They went between different companies within that 10, 14 years, however long people say it made to make. And so with all those agreements that they had to go through, there were certain aspects that couldn't be met. Like they couldn't keep the same art or the same mods or the same voice acting and etc. Because once you decide on something, they have to keep it, and you can't share art and stuff between companies because of their agreements.
Basically, just saying blow it out your ass.
I'm not really saying blow it out your ass, but I do think.
No, I mean like them,
Oh,
not you. You're
no.
saying, oh, why you so mean to me? Faithful, one of the faithful waiting all this time for some Duke Nukem action.
No, I think Gearbox though will hopefully be able to redeem themselves because they already said they're remaking or they're making another Doom Duke Nukem game. So hopefully they'll be able to redeem themselves and not fail as fucking hard as they did on Duke Nukem Forever. So we talked a lot today. My favorite discussion though was definitely Red Orchestra 2. I really hope a lot of people get into that. You know, Rage was a great game if you're an ID Software fan. But if you're a person with a bunch of expectations, wow, this game looks so good, you're going to be very disappointed in the game. Personally, I didn't even read up on this game. I didn't want to have any hype with this game. I just wanted to go in there being a Doom fan. It did bring ID Software. It was a normal ID Software game. I just think their engine needs a little work, a little tweaking, optimization for sure, because this game was 20 gigs on the PC. And honestly, I don't know how the hell it was 20 gigs. This game was
I mean, my porn folder's not even that big.
exactly like the only thing that I can think of that made this game so large is
Maybe it is.
is all the is all the static meshes they use, all the objects that were actually inside the game. But other than that, I don't see because the textures were really low res and the game was super short lengthwise, so I just don't see exactly where all that 20 gigs came from. But the game was pretty fun. I did have a lot of fun playing. I had a lot of laughs, and it was fun knowing John Goodman. That was the guy I was thinking of, John Goodman.
Mm.
And yeah, he was the first guy that you talked to, and I was like, oh, the legend.
Oh, oh. You making some questionable noises over there, man.
So yeah.
Questionable.
So and then TERA. I mean,
Does
TERA's
Josh have a
another.
man crush on John Goodman?
I might. You never know. We'll never know.
I think I know right now. With
And
the
then this new MMO called TERA. It looks pretty promising. They have a huge bestiary. Man,
bestiality, no.
a good
Stop.
bestiary. They got a pretty good range of classes and races you can play from. So I'm just not a huge fan of MMOs, but I will definitely check this out and probably do a review on it later in time. And yeah, again, Duncan, glad you're finally back. You definitely make this definitely really funny for everyone. Enjoy your new computer. Just don't fucking break it, please. And
Okay. Oops, I kicked it.
and I guess we'll see you guys next time on TsM Talk. Again, guys, it's Hicks here from TGN and TsM. We'll see you guys next time. You don't want to say anything?
Later, noobs.
Peace.